Just when fans thought things were finally settling down, the new trailer for episode 6 throws everything into chaos. A single look, a few seconds of silence, and suddenly all the love, confusion, and heartbreak come flooding back. This episode doesn't just tease drama, it promises a game-changing shift in the entire story. Belly stands between two lives, two hearts, and the clock is ticking. If you thought the summer was full of sweet moments and simple choices, think again, because this trailer reveals something that might change everything. The trailer opens on a quiet beach at sunset. The waves crashing gently in the background while Belly walks alone, her expression heavy with thought. There's no dialogue, just a soft, slow song that sets the mood melancholy and uncertain. Her fingers brush against a bracelet on her wrist. A small moment that hints at something deeper, possibly a gift from Conrad or a memory tied to Jeremiah. As the camera shifts, we see flash cuts of the other characters, Jeremiah looking over his shoulder with a sad smile, and Conrad sitting in the back of a car, staring at his phone, hesitating to call someone. These small moments are powerful, saying so much without words. Next comes a glimpse of a party. Bright lights, laughter, loud music, yet Belly seems distant in the middle of the crowd. She locks eyes with Conrad across the room, and that 1 second of connection is electric. But just as fast, the mood changes. Jeremiah appears beside her, clearly upset about something. He whispers something, but it's muted in the trailer. Her reaction is visible, shocked, even hurt, and suddenly it feels like a decision is being forced. One of the most emotional parts of the trailer is a short scene where Belly is crying in her bedroom, and Laurel walks in. Belly tries to hide her tears, but Laurel holds her close, offering comfort without saying a word. It's a reminder that this story is not just about romance, it's about family, growing up and learning to handle love and pain at the same time. The lighting in this scene is warm and dim, making it feel very personal and real. Then the pace picks up. We get flashes of arguments, someone slamming a door, Conrad running through rain, and Belly standing in the middle of it all. There's even a quick shot of Steven and Taylor fighting, which hints that other relationships are reaching breaking points too. One of the most mysterious moments is a quick scene where Belly is seen reading a letter. We don't see what it says, but the look on her face is everything. She's confused, stunned, and maybe even scared. The trailer ends with a quiet shot of the three of them, Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah, standing near the beach at night. No words, just silence. The tension is unbearable, and you can tell something important is about to happen. This one moment sets up the entire tone of episode 6, emotional, intense, and deeply personal. Everything is building to this episode, and the trailer makes sure we know it's going to be the turning point of the season. Episode 6 doesn't just tease drama. It dives deep into the emotional heart of the story. From the very first frame, it's clear that the love triangle between Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah is entering its most complicated and emotional chapter yet. This isn't the flirty, playful tension of earlier episodes. This is raw, real, and full of stakes. Each of the three is carrying their own emotional weight, and every interaction between them now feels heavier, as if the wrong word could change everything. And maybe it will. Belly, for her part, is torn like never before. Throughout the trailer, her expressions tell a story words can't, her eyes searching for clarity, her silence louder than ever. She's being pulled in two directions, not just by the boys, but by the versions of herself that they each represent. With Conrad, she's drawn to the history, the unspoken connection, the way they can sit in silence and still feel understood. But with Jeremiah, there's lightness, vulnerability, and a friendship that feels like home. Episode 6 shows her caught, right in the middle, emotionally, mentally, and physically. In one moment, she's walking beside Conrad under the stars, their hands almost touching. In another, she's in Jeremiah's truck, wiping away tears as he holds her hand. These aren't just gestures. They're battles being fought in her heart. Jeremiah's character in this episode seems more open, more honest, but also more fragile. There's a shot of him staring out over the dock, alone, and it's clear he's scared. Not just of losing Belly, but of not being enough for her. He's finally saying the things he used to hide behind jokes. There's a moment in the trailer where he says, "I'm not going to lose you again." And you can hear the desperation in his voice. It's not just about love. It's about fear, history, and all the chances that slipped through his fingers before. Jeremiah is ready to fight, not against Conrad, but for himself, for Belly. And for the future he still believes in, but then there's Conrad, and everything about him in episode 6 feels distant, yet deeply emotional. He's not chasing. He's waiting. There's a silent strength in how he carries himself in the trailer. He watches from afar, listens without interrupting, and when he finally speaks, it's short but powerful. "You don't have to choose tonight," he tells Belly in a voice that's calm but cracked. It's classic Conrad, always trying to protect her, even if it means losing her. His arc in this episode isn't about winning, it's about letting go, or maybe holding on in a quieter, deeper way. You get the sense he's hiding something, a letter he wrote, a decision he made, or maybe a sacrifice he's already planned to make for her happiness. Even supporting characters are playing into the emotional tension. Stephen, who often tries to stay neutral, is seen having a serious conversation with Conrad. He says something like, "You can't keep stepping back and expecting her to wait." It's a rare moment of directness, and it shows how even the side characters are being pulled into the emotional storm. Taylor, meanwhile, offers Belly the tough love she needs. In a quick flash, she tells Belly, "You keep breaking hearts trying to fix your own." It hits hard because it's true. Belly is trying to figure out who she is, and sometimes that means others get hurt in the process. What makes episode 6 so powerful is that it doesn't offer easy answers. It doesn't tell us who Belly should be with. Instead, it gives us real human moments, confusion, regret, hope, pain, and in the middle of it all, 3 people trying to make sense of their feelings while the summer slowly slips away. Every pause, every look, every almost kiss is charged with years of memories and unspoken words. This episode is not about choosing teams. It's about understanding what love really means. Is it safety? Is it history? Is it passion? Or is it something that can't be put into words at all? Episode 6 doesn't answer these questions, but it brings them to the surface with painful honesty. And no matter who Belly ends up with, one thing's clear by the end of this episode. Everything changes. Asterisk beneath all the romance, longing stares, and emotional goodbyes. Episode 6 of The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 3 unpacks something much deeper, the inner battles we fight when we're caught between who we were and who we're becoming. This episode's trailer, layered with visual clues and emotional undertones, isn't just showing us love, it's showing us growth, loss, and the painful beauty of transition. Everything from the beach setting to the tiniest props feels heavy with meaning. It's not just about a decision, it's about a transformation. One of the strongest themes that emerges is letting go versus holding on. From the very first frame, we're shown glimpses of things slipping away. Belly watching the waves crash and disappear, Jeremiah standing alone under a setting sun, and Conrad quietly putting away a photograph of the 3 of them. These aren't random shots, they're visual metaphors for the way summer, childhood, and certain versions of love are ending. The season has been about connections, but episode 6 is about the moment those connections are tested by time and truth. The trailer plays with symbolism in a subtle but powerful way. The ocean appears again and again, sometimes calm, sometimes stormy. It mirrors the emotional tides the characters are experiencing. Belly often stands near the water, looking out as if searching for clarity. The sea becomes a symbol of everything she's afraid of, the unknown, change, and the deep emotions she hasn't yet named. In one particular moment, Belly is shown walking straight into the water, fully clothed. It's jarring and symbolic, a moment that says she's no longer just standing at the edge of her emotions. She's ready to face them, even if it means getting completely swept up in the process. Another symbolic thread is the use of lighting and seasons. Summer is beginning to fade in this episode. The warm, golden tones of earlier scenes are slowly being replaced with cooler, more muted colors. Sunsets are longer, shadows are deeper. It's as if the show is preparing us for something bittersweet. Change is coming not just in the relationships, but in the characters themselves. Conrad's once confident gaze now looks tired. Jeremiah's usual playfulness is replaced with vulnerability. And Belly, she's no longer the girl caught in a dreamy summer. She's waking up, and it's not easy. There's also a strong theme of identity and self-worth running through this episode. For much of the season, Belly has been defined by who she's with, who she loves, and who loves her back. But episode 6 begins to shift that lens. The trailer gives us moments where Belly is alone, no boys, no drama, just her processing everything. In one quiet scene, she's journaling by candlelight, surrounded by pictures and souvenirs. It's a personal moment, a signal that she's starting to look inward. The episode is setting the stage for Belly to ask herself, who am I outside of this triangle? Who am I becoming? The most defining part of episode 6, though, is how it signals a turning point. The emotional stakes have been building, but this episode marks the moment where everything starts to tip. The trailer hints at secrets being revealed, letters being read, past promises being broken, and words being said that can't be taken back. There's a feeling of urgency in every scene. Like everyone knows the clock is ticking on this summer and decisions can't be delayed any longer. A storm is coming, maybe not a literal one, but a storm of emotions that will shake the foundation of every relationship in the series. Even the smallest interactions feel different. A hug that lingers too long, a look that carries guilt, a conversation interrupted before it reaches the truth. These little beats show that no one is the same person they were when the summer started. Growth is happening, but it's painful, messy, and full of fear. And that's what makes episode 6 stand out. It's no longer about choosing between Conrad and Jeremiah. It's about choosing who you want to be when everything familiar begins to fade. And while fans may go into this episode expecting answers, they'll leave with something even more powerful: perspective. Love isn't always about fireworks or fairy tales. Sometimes it's about silence, waiting, and learning to love yourself before you can truly love someone else. Episode 6 leans into this truth. It slows things down, strips away the fantasy, and holds a mirror to each character. This is the moment where the story moves from a summer romance to something real, something lasting, something unforgettable. ***, the moment the trailer for the summer I Turned Pretty Season 3 Episode 6 dropped, fan theories exploded across social media. Viewers paused, zoomed in, rewatched, and picked apart every tiny frame, trying to predict what's coming next. Because if there's one thing this show has proven, it's that nothing is random. Every look, every sentence, every quiet moment is part of a bigger emotional puzzle. And based on what episode 6 teases, fans are preparing themselves for a major emotional storm, one that could completely change the path Belly, Conrad, and Jeremiah are walking. Let's start with the most talked about theory, the letter. In the trailer, there's a blink and you miss it scene where Belly opens a folded note, her expression shifting from confusion to shock. Fans believe this letter could be from Conrad, something he's written but never had the courage to say out loud. Maybe it's a confession, maybe it's a goodbye. The letter theory ties into another growing belief, that Conrad might finally be stepping back for good, not because he doesn't love Belly, but because he thinks she deserves someone who can be open, someone who won't hurt her again. That quiet pain we see in Conrad's eyes throughout the trailer, it's the look of someone trying to love from a distance. If this theory is true, the letter could be his final way of telling Belly everything he couldn't say face to face. But then, there's Jeremiah, and fans are picking up on something big, a shift in his energy. He's not just trying to win Belly's heart anymore, he's trying to protect it. In one theory, fans believe Jeremiah is the one who finds out about the letter, and it forces him to finally speak his own truth. Not the playful version, not the version filled with jokes. The real version, full of fear, honesty, and love. This theory leads to a possible dramatic confrontation, where Jeremiah says something like, "You keep waiting for him to fight for you. I've been fighting for you every day." It's emotional, raw, and if it happens, it could be the moment Belly finally sees him in a new light, and here's where things get even more intense. A growing number of fans believe episode 6 will include a breakup, but not necessarily between Belly and a guy. Some think she might take a step back from both Conrad and Jeremiah, realizing she's been letting the love triangle define her for too long. The idea is that Belly will choose herself, at least for now, and this theory connects directly to those scenes in the trailer where she's alone, journaling, crying, and walking along the water. These moments feel like the start of a different kind of transformation, one that isn't about romance but self-discovery. Still, others are convinced episode 6 will mark the beginning of the end for one of the brothers in terms of romance. Some believe a painful decision will be made at the end of the episode, a choice that will break hearts but bring clarity. There's even speculation that this episode might be the last peaceful moment before everything unravels in episodes 7 and 8. We see flashes of arguments, a rain-soaked confession, and possibly even someone leaving Cousin's Beach. Is this Belly's emotional goodbye to Summer? Or is it just the beginning of her real love story? Beyond the romance, fans are also digging into background clues from the trailer. For example, there's a photo of Susanna briefly shown in Belly's room. That one image has sparked a theory that a flashback scene or a dream sequence might appear in episode 6, with Susanna giving Belly some kind of emotional guidance. It would be a beautiful, heartbreaking callback, reminding everyone that her presence still shapes every moment, even now. Another theory getting traction: Stephen and Taylor's relationship breaking down. Some fans believe the emotional stress around Belly's love triangle might trigger a deeper conflict between them. We see Taylor crying in one quick shot and Stephen walking away from a group with clenched fists. Their love story, once light and flirty, might be facing its first real test. This subplot could mirror Belly's journey, showing that young love is often built on fragile moments and hard choices. Looking forward, what does this all mean for episodes 7 and 8? If episode 6 is truly the turning point, then the next 2 episodes will likely deal with the fallout. Will Belly's decision, whatever it is, bring peace or more chaos? Will Conrad leave? Will Jeremiah finally stop waiting and walk away? Will Belly discover that choosing herself doesn't solve everything? These are the questions burning in every fan's mind right now. And here's one last theory, a bittersweet one, that the season might not end with a happy couple at all. Instead, it might end with growth, healing, and the possibility of love later. Because The Summer I Turned Pretty isn't just a love triangle, it's about growing up. It's about figuring out who you are when your heart is torn in two. And episode 6, based on the trailer, looks like the moment that realization finally hits. So what's next? Expect tears? Expect change. Expect a choice. And maybe, just maybe, expect the most honest episode of the entire series so far. Fans are ready, and episode 6 looks like it's about to shake everything we thought we knew.